Hello Syntactics, welcome to Fragrance Therapy. I'm your host Tom. Now there are a couple of houses that have really stepped up their game this year. One of those houses is definitely Khadlaj. I have 5 incredible new releases from the house. I'll tell you about their scent profile, give you my thoughts on each one, and tell you about their performance. So let's dive in. First up we have Khadlaj Musk Ice. And this is inspired by Initio's Musk Therapy. Now, I don't have a full bottle of that fragrance, but it is included as one of the fragrances in this Initio Discovery set. I would say this gets about 80% close to the original. Not sure if they were intentionally going for a twist or not, but to me, this one has a sharper citrus opening and is also less powdery than the original. You get this fresh, bright bergamot and mandarin on top. And like I said, the citruses do feel more piercingly sharp in this one. In the mid, you do get creamy peach and this aromatic lavender and orange blossom. And of course, tons and tons of musk, as the name would suggest. But additionally, you do get creaminess with this milk mousse accord. But you also get this woody, earthy vetiver. And like I said earlier, the OG does come off much more powdery than this one. But this one does get a bit creamier in the dry down. Now, when it comes to performance, this is an extrait de parfum, so the performance is excellent. 8+ hours on skin with strong projection for the first couple of hours. The OG is marketed as a unisex fragrance, but I think it strongly leans feminine in my opinion. Despite the changes in this one, it still leans feminine, but maybe a bit less so. And look, to like this scent, you obviously need to like musk. If you don't, it's better to just stay away. Does it replace the OG? In my opinion, it does not. There's small but noticeable differences. I actually prefer the smell of the original on ladies, but that one goes for $300. If you're looking for an affordable twist on the DNA, this is a very, very good option. If you're looking for an alternative that does get a little bit closer to the OG, then check out Game of Spades Topaz. This one gets closer to the original, but there's still a big price difference between these two. This one goes for about $40 and this one goes for about $80, so keep that in mind. Still a good take on the DNA, just with its own little twist. Next up, we have Khadlaj's Velvet Azure. And I covered this one in my Hidden Gems video, so I'm not going to go too much into depth with this one. I'll put a link on the screen if you're interested in seeing that video. This is Khadlaj doing a twist on that PDM latent DNA. You still get that warm, fresh spices, woods, and creamy vanilla, and these aromatic florals. However, this adds citruses and aquatic notes and makes it a more fresher take on that DNA. It's definitely a twist, but it works surprisingly well. Performance is also good with this one. 7 to 8 hours on skin, good projection without being overpowering. The changes do make this one a little bit more versatile in my opinion also. You can now use this as like a daily office scent. It goes from being just a fall and winter fragrance to an all year round one. I would love to see the Middle Eastern fragrance houses do more stuff like this. If you're gonna take an older DNA that others have already done really good clones of, give it a twist and give us something new. And with this one, the changes they made give us a good fresh option to a beloved DNA. Next up, we have Khadlaj Zayaan Gold. And this is an excellent take on JPG's Le Mans Elixir Absolute. Now, if you've only smelt the original JPG Elixir or its many dupes, this DNA is quite different. This is a much more mature and dressed up fragrance. And let me tell you, this thing is absolutely incredible. You get this sweet plum and bright spices with cinnamon and cardamom in the opening. It also adds aromatic and warm florals with lavender and violet, while the base is this powerful and deep blend of balsamic resins with benzoin and labdanum. You also get this earthy patchouli and these gourmand sweetness with tonka bean caramel and praline. When I first sprayed this, I could have sworn I got this lipsticky iris note. And surprisingly, it's not a listed note. To be fair, I also get that note in the original Elixir Absolute, and it's not a listed note in that one either, but it does remind me of something like a Dior Homme style iris. Not sure if it's just not listed or I'm just getting that from like the combination of other notes that are in the fragrance. Exceptional longevity with this one, 8+ hours on skin, projection strong for the first couple of hours. Fall and winter fragrance, perfect for evening wear, formal gatherings. If you want to make a bold and sophisticated statement, definitely one to pick up. Don't go in expecting like a super sweet honeyed fragrance like the original Le Mans Elixir, Kingdom, Rayhan Elixir, there's tons of other clones. For this one, is a much more sophisticated and elegant scent, and I think it's absolutely killer. Now, Afnan did release their own take on the Le Mans Elixir Absolute DNA earlier this year with 9 p.m. Elixir, and this is a fantastic release as well, but I think this is much more of a twist in my opinion. This one gets closer to the original DNA and replicates it really darn well. Next up, we have Khadlaj Titan, and this is a 90% close clone of Armani's Stronger With You Parfum. Now this thing is a woody, ambery fragrance that strikes this perfect balance between fresh and spicy opening and a deep and gourmand style dry down. What the last one did with the JPG Elixir DNA, this does with the Stronger With You DNA. This is a much more mature take on like the sweeter Stronger With You scents, like Intensely and Absolutely. This one gives you a spicy, citrusy burst in the opening with mandarin, pink pepper, and grapefruit. It gives it a nice, fresh opening. Also aromatic lavender with this touch of smokiness with incense and a masculine yet smooth edge with suede. And don't let the leather and incense scare you. They are not overpowering. They're just complementing the fragrance. The dry down is where that sweetness really kicks in. You get this rich and creamy vanilla along with tonka bean to give it that gourmand touch that the DNA is known for, and this nice dose of sweet amber. Now, when you look at the notes, this is missing that signature chestnut note that the original is known for, but it still smells incredibly close to the OG. Not sure if they just omitted it from the official note breakdown, or they were able to replicate it with some other combination, but it smells so damn close that I could have sworn it was in here. Another excellent performer, 8 hours on skin, even longer on clothes. Strong projection for the first 2 hours. The warm, spicy, and deep nature of this makes it perfect for colder weather, fall and winter. Another great option for evening wear. Use it for day nights or formal events. This one gets so close to the original and has such good performance. This is a true contender to replace the original. And finally, we have the newest release, which is Khadlaj Shiaka Snow. And this is an excellent fragrance inspired by Louis Vuitton's Meteor. And this is the first LV Meteor inspired fragrances that I own, and right out the gate, they nailed it. Now the Shiaka line is full of bangers. It's my favorite line from the house, is probably the most well known. Every single release that they have put out has been excellent, and this one keeps that trend going. This is a sparkling, slightly spicy freshie. It has this contrast between bright and cool opening and this really earthy dry down. Tons of refreshing bergamot, mandarin, and other citruses along with fresh spices with pink pepper and nutmeg. This one also adds neroli, which gives it this like clean white floral soapiness. Always get this fresh, clean soapiness feel with neroli. I would say this one is even more citrusy and fresh than the original. It also has one of my favorite notes in the base, which is cardamom, along with vetiver. I think the base gives this a warm, woody, and earthy anchor that helps balance out the freshness from the top. Performance is not as good as the original, but not bad for a freshie, especially for one that just came out of the box. I'm talking about 6.5 to 7 hours longevity on skin. Projection is good, offers a nice scent cloud without filling the room, but that does make this a solid choice for the office. The balance between bright freshness and warmth does make it a versatile fragrance, but I do think it leans much more into that freshness than it does into that warmth. So it does make it best for the spring and summer. Definitely leans heavily masculine, but ladies who like fresh, clean fragrances can definitely pull this one off as well. Now, is this a one-to-one replacement of the original, especially if cost was not a factor? I would say I don't think so. These two are actually much better candidates for that. This smells darn close to the original, but the original does perform a little bit better. There's also a slight but noticeable difference in quality. But the original is $350 and this one is $50. That's what I paid for. Now the price difference more than makes up for the differences. For me, this is a no-brainer. So there you have it, folks. 5 incredible releases from the House of Khadlaj. Let me know in the comments if you have any of these and what your thoughts are. And please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep growing this channel together. Every subscription does count. For all of those who have already subscribed, thank you so much. And as always, stay tuned for more affordable fragrance content. Until next time, I'm out.